Okay, so welcome to today's masterclass. We are going to talk about how to create and fill your evergreen webinar. And we're doing this without obviously exhausting live launches. And obviously, whilst I love to teach live, but sometimes I like to have a bit of a holiday in between, especially now as it's summertime. I want to spend time with my kids. So I also have evergreen webinars running in the background. Okay, so I show you what I do in my business and all the things that are working and things that may not be working. I'm going to share with you some of the pitfalls that I have encountered as well. So it's going to be very, very hands-on. If you have questions, please leave them in the chat and then I will make sure I'm going to go through them at the very end. Okay, so huge welcome. Let's dive right in. You are obviously in the right place if you are running a business right now, and you could do with bringing in leads a bit more on autopilot. And if you want something that does all the heavy lifting for you, that you can just focus on your zone of genius, right? That's a beautiful thing to do, is just to show up, do your thing, and you don't have to worry all the time about the marketing. And if you don't enjoy exhausting live launching and you just want to have a bit more hands off and something that's working for you in the background ongoing, then I'm going to be obviously sharing with you how to do that. And you want a business that is scalable. So if you're doing a lot of one-to-ones right now, or you feel like there's a constraint somewhere and you want to scale and you want to impact more people, you want to increase your income, and you want to create an ecosystem without trading time for money, then again, this is a really great opportunity for you to learn about this. So you can scale through, for example, digital programs. Maybe you have memberships or you want to create a membership, a group program. So I'm talking about Evergreen a lot. You will hear me talk about this. And I think I just need to clear out the myth as to what is actually Evergreen. I love to talk about Evergreen because that means no matter what comes, your systems are solid and things are working all the time. And what I also found in my business, I don't know you, I'm reinventing myself over and over again, but not anymore. You used to create content a lot. Every day you think, oh, I'm going to post today, or if you have an email list, it's like, oh, well, I'm going to send them today. So it's something that works over and over again. You've created once and then you tweak it. It's not like you have to create this huge things like huge content and masterclasses and everything over and over again, right? I used to have tons of funnels. Last year, I completely deleted everything because I felt so overwhelmed in my business. And I thought, you know what? Why not getting to be known for the one thing? And I do one thing really, really well rather than scattergun approach and having all these small courses here, there, and everywhere. And I just couldn't even see what was going on anymore in my own business because every program had like small groups of people here, there, and everywhere. And again, it wasn't helping my clients either. So now I'm just more focused. I've simplified my business. I have a lot of the heavy lifting stuff actually done. So I'm very, very excited to actually share with you how my transition has impacted me and my life. And I just feel so much better. I have like this peace of mind now in my business. So, and of course, yeah, as I said, no more reinventing yourself over and over again, and just work on the strategic pieces in your business. And also important is quite often we as entrepreneurs, we can live into our day. We can maybe get lost on social media, scrolling, then comparing ourselves to other coaches and thinking, oh my gosh, I should be over there. Why do they have all the engagement and the likes and everything else? Why don't I have it? So now it's like also thinking about what's your daily flow? What's your daily structure so that you can focus and stay on your own path, because that's important as well. And so every day what brings you results. So this is a unique approach that I have put together with many, many years of experience and trial and testing and adding and subtracting things from my own business. So I've now created my own methodology that teaches what I found works best, and I've been able to simplify my business and also create increased results very rapidly. And I guess everyone wants to have a like 10, 20K kind of month. And so let's think this through. What would that mean to you? So I'm also going to talk to you about pricing and how to and how to scale that as well. So there's going to be 3 phases I'm going to teach you. And obviously this hasn't just worked for me. This method has been proven in almost any industry. Now I've been doing this for over 10 years, maybe more. My daughter's 13. I gave up my highly paid corporate job when she was born. I just wanted to do more with my life and really do what I love doing, which is teaching, training, and coaching. So I've been working with so many different coaches, consultants, I'd say almost 1,000 female entrepreneurs over the past 10 years. And they've included all kinds of career coaching, therapists, healers, nutritionists, health, well-being, parenting, money mindset, fitness, you name it, right? You name it. So it does work in every single niche. So, for example, career coach, I was just still mentioning, you have Helena here. She wanted to move into group coaching. So she did a lot of one-to-one coaching, and her pricing wasn't where she wanted it to be. So she wanted to obviously make a bigger impact and a higher income. And she then went for a corporate package. And well, as you can see, she was booked out 15K in the bag. So she made a huge leap, obviously, and also worked on herself to be able to command 5-figure price tags. Now, obviously, these results are not typical. I will share a couple of more case studies throughout this presentation. It will absolutely vary depending on where you are and, and whether you implement what I teach you. Okay, so now, if you are currently kind of doing stuff on lots of stuff, loads of different things like creating content, posting on social media, growing Facebook group, TikTok, LinkedIn, Instagram, everything, and nothing's working, right? You're overwhelmed. Perhaps you're feeling a bit like this. Your attention is pulled into many, many different directions, and you just feel like, oh my gosh, right? What am I actually doing? How am I moving this forward? Don't fret. I'm here to help because simplification is the name of the game right now. There is so much information on the internet, on YouTube. You can watch all sorts of different things, but the question is, can you really implement and will it work for you? So my mission is to help simplify and clarify and really kind of drill it down into the things that really are going to move the needle and say, well, actually, to be honest, like, for example, you don't even need a website, right? You don't need a website to sell. I always thought I needed a website when I got started. And I guess to make matters worse, my husband's a graphic designer. So he said, you need to be all branded up and all kitted up before you can ever start your business. And then I was waiting and he was helping me with the branding. And then I had this amazing branding and then nothing happened. So it doesn't mean that when you build it, they come. So don't worry, right? This is like, you're good enough right now how you are. So let's simplify. So, and don't think about, hey, it's hard, I'm too late to the market's saturated. Well, to some extent, there's loads and loads of people come in and they're now calling themselves coaches, consultants. But there's also a really, really high percentage of failure rate. I mean, I think I did research. It said something like 95% of entrepreneurs actually close their businesses again after the first year. And then a further 90% of those actually close their business after 5 years. Or something really bleak. And it really kind of saddens me because I know that the market needs people like us who are change makers, who can create amazing transformations for other people. And I know this because I also still work in the corporate world and I see the corporate toxic workplaces there. I see that people need better well-being approaches and support, better leadership, parenting advice, you name it. And it is really my passion to actually help women to really step up and say, well, actually, this is me. I'm standing out. I'm going for it. And I'm going to share my voice, right? So you are not too late. The market is not really saturated. And I'm going to share with you, obviously, how you can stand out from the market and get those clients. Okay, so and talk about predictable way to get leads and high-paying clients every day. How you only work with clients you like working with, because that's another important thing. Is I don't want to work with anyone. It has to feel right? There's an energy exchange when you work with someone, and you want to charge what you're worth without feeling icky. You want to have a greater impact on clients so that you can give them the results, get them results as well. Because when we're doing lots of marketing, what does that mean? It means that we're spending more time looking for new clients than actually spending time with our existing clients, right? So why not create a system that does all the marketing and you spend only 20% rather than 80% of marketing? Like most people do like 80% marketing, 20% of paid work. And why don't we swap it around and say, actually, let's build a system now so that later we can then do 20% marketing, just make sure it works and optimize it, maybe feed it a little bit more, put more fuel to the fire, right? That's the idea. And this way you can have a greater impact on your clients and really do the things you love doing in your business rather than being bogged down with all the marketing. Yeah. And you want to enjoy your business as well. And yeah, thank you for joining me, whoever has joined in the last couple of minutes, and a huge welcome. So let me also introduce myself, obviously, and just a little bit about, who's it going to work for? It is going to work for you if you have an online program or online service, group coaching, one-to-one, done for your services, agencies. So I don't think this would work very well with someone who has a brick and mortar business. It can work, but I don't specialize in it. Or someone who's got an online sort of e-commerce store, Shopify, something like this. So I'm looking at digital programs, okay? And we want to do this without having to post endlessly on social media, having to spam people via DMs, or giving away free stuff all the time without getting anything back and just getting the freebie seekers in over and over, and without needing to be a tech guru and create the complex funnels. Because as I said, I did this before. I deleted all my funnels last year because I wanted a more simple life and really focus on the things I love doing in my business. So we don't need complex funnels. And without any previous results. So if you just get started, absolutely fine. Okay. So right, a few more people joining. Thank you so much for joining in. I really appreciate you, and I welcome you into the space. So it's good timing. I'm going to just go through a couple of sort of introductions as well. Take some notes. That I will. This is a value-packed webinar. What I teach, I do myself. And one of the things I teach is do not create webinars that are just a sales pitch. So this is going to help you no matter what, right? You're going to walk away with an actionable plan and some really, really good bullet points. So who am I? I'm Sabina Matharo. This is a bit of an older picture. My son's a bit taller than me now. He's just finished year 10 and he's doing his GCSEs next year. So your time flies, but I love them to bits, right? I am a very, very proud mom. My husband's there as well. He's been supporting me throughout. And this is my early days. I had a bit of a weird haircut and my very first workbook there. And I've been struggling for such a long time. I came out of corporate. I had a really high paying job and I was flying around from place to place. I was a management consultant and then the senior director. And I thought, well, yeah, I'm going to become an entrepreneur because I had two small kids. I didn't want to go back to the 9 to 5 at that stage. And I thought, no, it's going to be easy. But honestly, it wasn't. It was quite a ride. And I've made so many mistakes. And I will share with you the mistakes I made in part 1 today. But obviously, things start to work out. I had to work in the background. It wasn't like an overnight kind of success story. I don't have this kind of success story. But I was inspired through my mission. And my mission really is to inspire other female entrepreneurs to do well and to really step into their purpose and fulfill their mission. And I wrote a book, 3 books by now, with 75 other entrepreneurs that tell their stories, and really wanted to provide a platform for them to be visible, to speak up, and to leave a legacy. And through that book journey, I was also invited to come and speak at different events, at corporate, for example, some quite big corporates, Dell Technology, for example. And they were very inspired about what I do as well, and they wanted more help. So that made me think, oh my gosh, we need more change makers, even going into corporates, because people are suffering. People need our support. So that's when I really started off with my mission and really start to share. So, and what I teach today, obviously, I really needed to eliminate some repetitive work, stress, and overwhelm, because I'm a busy mom. I actually have 2 sides of my businesses. One is going into corporate to do leadership training, and I also have a membership on that side. And then obviously I'm doing this where I help female entrepreneurs simplify and scale their businesses. So otherwise, if I do too many repetitive tasks, I won't be able to travel. I'm from Austria. You might have detected a little bit of an accent. So I love traveling. I live in the UK now. And yeah, just for me, travel is just really being together with my family and creating wonderful memories, right? So that's important to me as well. And that's the reason why I decided to become an entrepreneur and help other entrepreneurs on their journey. So I guess the hard way is reinventing yourself. I'm going to talk about this a lot. And the easy way is go evergreen, which means no more wastage in your business and really knowing what you're doing every single day and having created a system that works over and over again. So that's the notion of evergreen. And it's all kinds of systems. We're looking at content. We're looking at how you generate the leads every single day, how you show up. The masterclasses that I'm doing, I can use them over and over again, right? And it's because I see so many women reinventing themselves and say, oh, this hasn't worked, I need to change over. And that's a big mistake, because maybe you don't have enough information whether it's worked or not, because there weren't enough people seeing your stuff. So I'm going to talk a bit about that as well. So what we cover are 3 parts, right? We'll talk about the 5 biggest mistakes that separates the struggling coaches and consultants from those that make 6 and 7 figures. And that includes my own mistakes. I have made them full on. And part 2, I will show you how to create and fill your evergreen webinar. Why have I chosen to talk about the piece of webinar? Is because I think it's a great starting point where you can start putting pieces in place that will work for you over and over again, because a webinar is a great way for your clients to get to know you, like you, trust you very, very quickly, and does all the heavy lifting for you. And you may have come across webinars and all the myths about they're working, not working, talk about that as well. And there's obviously also automated webinars that you can just record and run over and over again. And I can speak to that because I'm doing both, and then live events as well. Funny enough, I have an automated webinar and that runs for me in the background over and over. And that has a higher conversion rate and a higher show up rate at the moment than people coming on lives. Because they can choose the time and the date that suits them. So basically it's recorded, it's on a platform, people can choose, I want to watch it at this time. And where usually, I don't know, out of 10 people, 2 or 3 people show up on a live webinar, I got like 6 people, so over 60% people who registered to that webinar showing up. And that means they also watch, there's more chance that they watch to the end and see what I have to offer and then come on a call with me. So it's interesting. It's a very interesting concept, but it's probably also the way I've built the funnel itself, so that because a sales funnel can have lots of holes and lots of leakages. So there's obviously a strategy behind this. Okay, part 3, I want to share with you that strategy, how to automate the customer acquisition and how I've built it through the Evergreen marketing system, so you can focus on what you do best and love doing and generate more sales, and obviously doing less and leveraging your time. I think that's what we all want. I don't know about you guys, but let me know in the chat if you wish to share. Why did you start your business? I started my business because I wanted more time freedom. I could have probably stayed in my high paid job if I just wanted to secure salary, but I wanted more time freedom. I wanted to leave a legacy, impact others. And I believe when we as women, we are big change makers. We are some of us are mums, right? We can actually create that ripple effect in our families, and the way we speak to our kids, the attitude, the mindsets, and all the things that we pass on. It's amazing. And we as women, we can go into organizations and create change there as well, right? That's really, really beautiful. So make a difference. Yeah. Time family through the day. Yeah, absolutely. We can be flexible. Now it's summer holidays, so I can spend half the day with my family and do something, and just work in the mornings. That's what I decided to do right now. Unless it's raining, then I would just work the whole day and there's nothing to do outside. And then a big impact on the neurodivergent community. Yeah, absolutely. We need change makers like you, Jana, Tracy, to actually go and share your amazing gifts and change the world. As much as I would love to stop war, I don't think I can soul-handedly, but I think we can all do our little bits to actually help other moms or other families to live in peace and to be kinder to each other. And that is the ripple effect. That's the small steps that we can help people with. So yeah, we can change the world in essence. If many of us are changing, making small changes, we as a whole can change the world. So let's dive in. Okay. Right, part one. Let me talk to you about about 5 biggest mistakes that separate the struggling coaches from those that make consistent 6 and 7 figures. So if you are, obviously it's about the consistency, but that's a key word. How many times are we comparing ourselves with the competition? How many times do we open up social media, we're scrolling, and it's like, oh my gosh, this person's getting all these comments and likes and shares and everything, and I'm getting nothing, right? Do you know what's happening behind the scenes in their business? They might have a whole team of social media managers, or they might run ads. They might have spent 10 years building that Instagram page and the following. You just don't know. So I think this the more we can get our sanity back if we're not compare ourselves, and we just look, that's our path. We know what our mission is. We just show up every day in the best way that we can do. And then we ask ourselves in the evening, have I done everything? Have I really stepped into my fullest power? And to be honest, I was hiding for the longest time because I thought I wasn't good enough. I couldn't really, talk very well, and I'm still making grammar mistakes. But you know what? I decided, imperfect is fine. As long as I can just impact one person, one soul a day, right? So let's think about that. What is that for you? Mistake number 2, the complex sales systems and funnels. As I said, I deleted all mine. It got so complex, I didn't even know what was going on anymore. And I had to shut down some of my programs. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to combine all of my little programs and give it as a bonus in my big program. So I can just focus and really create true results for my clients rather than giving them little bits and pieces, because those little bits and pieces wouldn't give them the whole piece of the puzzle, right? They still need other bits to make it all work. And I just feel like I don't like that notion of just giving people just a tiny bit. Yes, I have my freebies, and I give a snippet like today in a webinar, but I always promote a bigger piece, like a holistic system that will actually work A to Z. So we don't need complex systems and funnels. And to be honest, I love using Canva, for example. You can even use Canva to be like a sales page for you. You can create buttons and all kinds of amazing things there as well. So if you're not sort of tech savvy, don't worry. As long as you get your stuff out there, and you can even, you don't even need a membership site. You can just have a Facebook group and you can just post your stuff in there as well. So yeah, do not worry about that. Mistake number 3 is creating lots of different programs, right? How many times have you reinvented the wheel and you think, oh, this doesn't work, and this is not good enough, or oh, I need to add this or change that up or give it a new title or throw it all out altogether. Or you have lots of different programs that you're trying to sell at the same time. But that means that could be very exhausting. I found it very exhausting because I'm thinking, okay, I've got this one that's women into corporate. I teach that, and I have a LinkedIn course, and like I have slightly different audiences for each, and it made it really, really hard, and it confused me and it confused my audience. So too many programs isn't great either, because it overwhelms you, it frustrates you. And the question is, what's the return on investment? Unless you have a big team, because you may see a lot of the big coaches, they have lots of programs. Again, it needs time and effort. Maybe they've spent money, into ads and things like that to actually fill their programs, and you just don't know. But when you get started, start with just one major thing that you want to provide. And you, of course, within that spectrum, you could have a one-to-one, you could have a hybrid, or you can have a group program. And once you run a group program, you could then just save the recordings and then have it as a self-study as well. So there are clever ways. We have to really work in a clever way and not overwhelm ourselves. Okay. Mistake number 4, not enough eyeballs. What I mean is, like, not enough people coming to see your stuff, because that really makes or breaks the business. And quite often we make a decision to actually change up the program, or it's not working, and nobody wants what I have, kind of thing. But the question is, have you gotten enough people come to see your stuff, right? So maybe not. So think about it. Are you really visible? Are you showing up? How many people come to see your things? And mistake number 5 is not investing to grow in their business. I did this in the beginning. I was like, yeah, DIY. I'm just going to watch a YouTube video, read a book, and it'll be all fine. And then, yes, the information is there, but I didn't know how to apply it in my own business and how to make it work. And whilst we have all these AI tools and all these amazing things around us, sometimes we just get stuck and we need a physical person, a human being, to actually look over what we've done and talk us through some of the things and give us a bit of hand holding. So I find it really useful to have someone to help you, a coach, a mentor, even some people who can do maybe some heavy lifting like social media bits and pieces, or a VA. So do get the help when you can. And I know sometimes it feels like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have the funds yet, if I'm big enough yet. But the sooner you can just do a little bit help, it also will really help you in your mindset. You feel so much different in your body as well. You embody that kind of wealth already when you have the support in your business. Even if it's the husband supporting you, like I told my husband, well, when I'm working, you got to do the dinner. Right? So little things, or you got to do the wash or the hoover and that kind of thing. So family can help you as well. So get the support structures around you, because the longer you wait, the more time you're going to invest, and the more time you might be even wasting, not getting to where you truly could be going. So again, in one place, the 5 biggest mistakes. Number 1, comparing yourself with competition, complex funnels, creating lots of different programs, not enough eyeballs, and not investing to grow the business. So let's go into the juicy part 2. Now I'm going to teach you how to create and fill your evergreen webinar. Yes, again, said positioning the webinar as like one of the major foundational pieces that really truly helps you to put your business on to autopilot, evergreen. It runs for you over and over again. And when you have that piece of marketing, it can really create the visibility for you, and it can create that connection. And you can also get people who don't know you yet sold on who you are and what you do within a couple of hours. So that's the reason why I think it's so super powerful. Okay, so number 1, how would you create a high converting webinar? There's a couple of things you might need to have before you're thinking about this webinar, right? There's a couple of foundational pieces. We need to start with the end in mind. So what does that mean? We need to, number 1, know your customer, and we need to also know what they would want to learn about, because it's always about solving a burning problem. Now, and as I said here, it's very important to create a value-packed webinar. Now, even if I taught you everything that I know and give you all the steps and everything else within an hour, I probably wouldn't do you justice. I don't even think I can teach you too much that you think, oh no, I don't want to buy her program. And I'm thinking for you, if you were to put a webinar together, what is too much and what is too little? It's finding the balance. But what it really is give a snippet of who you are and what you do and the concepts, and give people some real aha moments. So add value. We don't just want to pitch festival. Get known for the one thing. I talked about this. I'm in the process, I guess. I'm always talking about evergreen queen. That's what I want to be known for, about creating solid business foundations that you can use over and over again. And it's not about jumping onto the next shiny object or next sort of TikTok kind of fad strategy that will work, but it's really about creating all the foundational pieces in your business that run smoothly in the background over and over. You want to build in stories, okay? Talk about yourself. Make sure that people can relate to you as well. And then there are certain psychological triggers that will help you amplify your authority, help them through their own objections, and instill beliefs in themselves as well, in your potential clients when they go through the webinar. And you want to incorporate powerful calls to action that feel natural and not pushy. Okay, so of course you want to say, hey, if you enjoyed this and you want more support, come and join me. I have this program. Here is an example. Christine and Nikki, they didn't have clarity at all. They said they've been working with so many mentors and obviously to spend a lot of money and time, but I was able to help them really fine-tune their niche and finally create something that truly aligns with who they were, because I think that's also important. We mustn't think about evergreen and automated everything that all of a sudden it becomes like, faceless and soulless. So it's very important to think that we can actually align ourselves with our mission, our energy, and bring that in as well, and still keep that sort of personal touch. So there's another example, Noreen. I love her to bits. We've been working together for quite a while, and she has got a very, very quirky niche. She works with horses, the power of horses, and healing through the power of horses. So it was really about translating that into a actionable kind of step-by-step program that she could actually put out to the market and explain what she does. And she came so much out of her shell that she was nominated as the businesswoman of the year, and she won that award for really stepping up and making huge transformations. I think she then even went on, she was actually in a magazine, featured there, and on podcasts, and then she started to actually take corporate groups onto her farm where she was working with the horses. So it's a hugely transformational story, and I really love her, what she does. So Number two, let's fill the high converting evergreen webinar. Once we've created it, obviously we want to get people to come and see the webinar, right? And we want to do this a little bit on autopilot as well, if possible. So we want to build an evergreen promotional machine. What do I mean about that? Again, this comes to obviously seeding your content out there. Yes, we know about getting on blogs and podcasts, and this can feel quite overwhelming. But what about creating content that works for you over and over again? And when you're doing, for example, lead magnets, why don't you have a call to action and say, join my webinar, right? So there's lots of different places, even on the signature of your emails, you can say, hey, here's my webinar. You can always build that in, here's my webinar. So it just trickles in over and over. Of course, we can also run full on Facebook ads or YouTube ads to get people in quicker. If you're thinking about organic, there are lots of different strategies. But what we also need is not just having people come to us, but we need to have a really great registration page that actually sells the webinar. Otherwise, we're going to have a leak, because you have people come in and they're like, oh, no, this is not for me. Oh, I don't like that. It doesn't give me any value. So again, it goes back to connecting the dots, teaching something that people really want and it's really attractive, and explaining that on the registration page, so that people then come to the next section, right? We also want to develop an email sequence to boost show-up rates, or better, I was kind of talking about this before, just-in-time webinars where people can click. It's on an automated software where people can actually choose the day and the time they want to come and show up. And that really helped me, because as I said, my show-up rate is 63%, and then 50% actually watch the replay. And so that means I have like 3 or 4 times the amount of people booking a call just from that automated webinar. And funny enough, I don't even need to be here and talk live. Right now, I have the choice, right? I don't need to turn up live. So, what was next? Yeah, create an evergreen social media posting system. How many times do we reinvent the wheel over and over again? What we need to do is look at our program, and most of the time, say, remember I was showing you Noreen. Noreen had let me just flick back in the middle here, in the center. She has a roadmap, 9 steps to unleash your inner power in 12 weeks. And so each of the steps of the roadmap could be a couple of social media posts, because you can really create content talking to each of the steps. And then you can say, oh, this is only step 1 of my whatever 6-step process that I teach in my program. So it's a very, very clever way to create an evergreen, ever sort of evolving around your program kind of content. And it's strategic, because obviously we don't just want to put content out there for content's sake. There has to be a meaning and a purpose to it, in a way that makes people think, aha, I didn't realize. Oh yeah, I'd be curious to learn more. And then of course there could be paid traffic strategies that will also get you consistent leads. When you do paid strategies, which I run as well, I help my clients do that too. I do low cost ads, because I don't like to play around with people's money without actually getting a return on investment yet. So the testing phase, it's really about putting out something like a video and a value video. Let people watch it and then retarget to capture those fence sitters, right? So there's a way to do this. There's a very strategic way, because sometimes when you just send people to a webinar straight from cold, it may not work, or your lead cost is really, really high. So there's ways to actually reduce the cost as well, and a whole ecosystem around paid traffic. Number 3, let's convert your high converting, that's a bit of a tongue twister, convert your high converting evergreen webinar. So what I mean, we want to get people to either buy something or take the next step with you. Now, it depends what your price point is. Now, I like to just give a call to action. Hey, book a call with me. Let's have a conversation, because I want to get to know my people, and my programs are high ticket. So I'm not selling anything that's like $200, $300, $400, $500 or pounds. So it is a good idea to actually speak to people and see where they're at and what they actually need, right? So that's what I do. Of course, if you had a sales page, you could actually put that at the end. But again, just be mindful on the price point. I wouldn't actually do a webinar. Someone came to me and said, oh, I've got $27 something, I don't know, workbook or, or meditation. Can I do a webinar? I said, yes, of course you can do a webinar, but you're going to spend a lot of time, energy, and you're going to pay me and all that just to promote $27 something. It's going to take you a long time to make the money back, and I wouldn't do that. So if you are running webinars, run it to high ticket offers. So yeah, that was kind of what he said. Your offer is absolutely key. It has to be problem focused. Plus, you want to have tangible benefits on there, and maybe even think about done for you elements, and explain the cost of inaction, because all of these combined are like it's just multiplying your success of actually building something that people really, really want, and they see the value, and they see how you can help them with the transformation, help them with some of the heavy lifting as well, because a lot of people have been burnt in the past. They tried things, it didn't work. So you got to really think about those things and add that when it comes to offer creation. But maybe I should actually create a webinar about offer creation, because I do this so much, and yeah, there's a whole hour I could just talk about that as well. And then in the webinar, see the offer subtly throughout your presentation. So I could now say, hey, you know, we're creating our offers together inside my program, which is called the Evergreen Success Formula. And, you know, if you come and join me, obviously this is covered. So, and then you can create urgency and scarcity. Obviously, you want to do this ethically in an evergreen format. So when I do evergreen webinars, I don't say, when I then automate it, obviously, I don't want to say something weird and say, you know, until the 31st of July, you get this offer kind of thing. And do it in an ethical way and say, look, this is definitely not going to be available anymore. In you know, have access, or you know, if you take action now, in the next 3 days, you'll get an extra one-to-one session with me, for example, right? So do something that is also implementable for you, and it doesn't give any weird vibes of anyone who actually then comes in later on and then questions that offer. Develop a high converting sales page. As I said, you don't have to make a complex sales page. What I did is I actually wrote everything on a Google Doc first, and tweaked everything before I moved it. And then I actually even created a Canva sales page. And again, a little sales drop here. I have those Canva templates come with my program. I give them to my clients that they can just copy and paste and just put the elements in there, so they don't have to actually create a whole website. So, and it's already high converting because it already has the correct components, and they can use it just that as a template. So again, heavy lifting. You know, it's going to help with heavy lifting, and it'll be able to actually help you with the high converting sales page. And then you want to craft a post-webinar email sequence that nurtures and converts. So, but some people are not ready yet. And I actually run quite regular webinars. I also regularly run challenges. I love challenges. I just love to kind of come live and teach and help and support. And I love the automation in the background as well, just as much. But some people aren't ready. So my experience, sometimes people come to one webinar and then they listen and they're like, okay, yeah. They come to the next webinar, listen again. Yeah, I think it's really good. Let me book a call. So maybe it takes 3 or 4 times webinar or challenges, because they tell me, oh, I've been to your last challenge 3 months ago and I really liked it then, but the timing wasn't quite right, or I wasn't quite sure. And now I'm really, really sure. So you never know, right, who's listening in the background. If you're consistent, you're running this over and over again, then, you know, you're going to, it's a nurture. It's a way to nurture and to get people get to know you, like you, trust you more and more. And you want to implement also follow-up strategy for those who don't buy immediately. Again, another example, this is a quite interesting one. Language teacher, Jenny, she was absolutely fed up reading through content online, slow pace and all of that. And she was really not, because she's like, oh yeah, in the language teaching sort of niche, we can't actually, you know, charge a lot of money. But then she shifted 20 extra prices, and now she's going into corporate. Those who want to move to another country or come from another country, and she teaches them English and business English. So again, she had a complete shift, and obviously she now can command more money, and has created a webinar that is now shown to professionals. I think she's also using LinkedIn a lot, so there's another strategy there in terms of getting your leads. So what are the pitfalls about this whole webinar business? Well, firstly, creating a webinar that's all fluff and no substance is a no-no. I don't teach that. I don't like it. I don't like to be on those kinds of webinars. It makes me feel like, it gives me like a really ick kind of feeling in my stomach once, you know, and once I've been there, and then you don't want to know about this person anymore. So the more you give, the more genuine you are, authentic, all of this, the better, right? You want to also not just focus on your features of your program when you talk about these things, but also you want to talk about the transformation and see what can people actually achieve once they've gone through your program. So it's not just like fact. It's like talk from your heart, emotions, stories. Then the tech nightmares. It could be quite a nightmare, right? And it could be a lot of inefficiency holes when it comes to registration page, then people getting on your webinar, and then emails and all that kind of stuff. So if it's not set up correctly, it can be very frustrating. You put in a lot of time and effort up front, you're getting all the people there, and then perhaps things aren't working smoothly, and then again, that could scare away potential clients. Falling into the build it and they will come trap. I was mentioning this before. I built a website and I'm like, yeah, now I've got my business and it's all there, but they didn't come. So you need to work the system. It is absolutely crucial. Of course, the webinar will do the heavy lifting for you. And if you wish to automate the webinar, then you don't even need to be there to present, but there is the front end bit where you need to build the visibility still. I was talking about this a little bit, lacking authenticity and connection. When there is an automated format, the way I teach it, you would not lack that authenticity, because we are putting in all these little stories and authority building, the little psychological triggers as to giving people the hope and the inspiration that they can do this too. So it can be lack of authentic connection but not the way I teach it. Giving away too much without a clear path to your offer. Yeah, so again, it has to be strategic, the way you build the content piece and the way you're bridging into your offer as well. So what are the benefits of a well-crafted evergreen webinar system? Well, firstly, the system connects people to you. So they come from cold to hot leads within just hours. And you don't need to be there live. Obviously, we talked about this and doing it over and over again. A process that gets your prospects warmed up so that they know you, like you, trust you, and they're also pre-qualified. So you're not going to get on a call with them and then they don't know anything about you, or they don't have the funds and they think you're too expensive or whatever it may be, right? Because how many times have we been on calls with not the right people? So again, the webinar will help you filter those people out. And when they book a call, they might turn up. They turn up first and foremost because you've nurtured them through. They're going to have an intent to purchase. They have the funds and they already have the objections handled, because that's part of the webinar, because that's one way to help them through their own mindset, things like that. So for example, I was talking about not investing in yourself. And we talked about this in essence inside the webinar. So I don't think anyone will now come on a call and say, no, I don't want to invest in myself, unless they skip their path in the webinar. So let's talk about the conversion. So we want speed, 5 figures a month, perhaps, right? A simple system. We can put this in place in 2 to 3 weeks. That brings in leads within 24 to 48 hours. They become a prospect, they book a call, and then we can offer them something like $2,000 or £2,000 kind of high ticket. Now, how do we do this? So this is the automation part now. I'm going to show you how to put the bits in place that will drive the customer through the journey. So on the left, so it's like, call it the engine, right? The engine that runs over and over again. And in the middle, we've got the webinar. We've got that packaged in. We've got leads coming in the front end. We've got the webinar. We have a phone call, and then we make a sale. That's all could happen within 24 to 48 hours. So why webinar? Let's talk about this again. People are distracted. They get so many offers, so many things out there online, and people have to get to know you, like you, trust you, and spend some time with you. And that's why a webinar is great. And I would say under an hour, because people don't have more than, even less. Some of my webinars are only 30 minutes. And you might think webinars don't work anymore, but very, very successful business owners are still doing webinars. And you probably recognize some of these people. I follow Gary Bernstein, Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, Tony Robbins, they're all doing webinars, and it's working. So talked about it. It works very, very quickly. Now, when you think about a freebie funnel, when you have something you put out there and then you have like an email nurture system, it may take a long time until someone books a call or really is truly invested in what you do and understands what you do. With the webinar, it really helps them to understand you much quicker, and you have this almost face-to-face conversation. So this is why this brings so much speed into your business. So as I kind of already talked about the steps, lead registers. Obviously, how do you get leads there? Either we can use paid, or I teach 26 organic strategies in my program. Obviously, I would never tell people to do all 26. Choose 2 or 3 that align with you. Step 2 is the registration. The page, I already talked about pitfalls as to how that needs to be structured, so we're not losing people. Then we've got the webinar. Again, the way we present in the webinar, how we trigger people, motivate them, give them aha moments. Then we have another step, which I haven't really talked about, because there's another kind of system behind this where people then apply to book a call, and you want to filter them out and make sure that they're the right people that actually hop on a call with you. And then that's when we make the sale. Then it's just a matter of, okay, let me answer your questions, or audit your business and see whether you're in the right space to actually work with me. And this could lead to actually 30 to 50 people that you spoke to actually you sign them up, because they're already pre-sold. So you don't have to waste so much time with people on the phone that aren't qualified. You don't have to be salesy, because they already know you. They already see what you've got, and they know they need what you have. You can have great, authentic conversations. You can look forward to getting on a call. You can be much more relaxed. You don't have to convince anyone or feel icky about that. And you can be in a position to even turn people away. Like sometimes I look at people who apply, and then they say they're not really interested in right now, or they're doing something different, a niche that I can't help. Then I just send them an email and say, hey, I'm really sorry, I don't think I can help you. So I'm not going to waste my time and energy hopping on a call. And we have more time to work with our clients and really create those transformations. We don't have to worm around and trying to get leads and all that. So this is the big thing. It's about giving you the time back to either work with your paid clients or spend it on holidays, friends, family, whatever you want to do. And the webinar definitely helps to get people on the phone, and it happens on autopilot. If you choose to automate the webinar, sometimes I get calls. It's like, oh, where's that come from? Just runs in the background. So it is absolutely possible to create a system, and it runs over and over and over again, right? So evergreen, let's talk about this. How often do you recreate content, launch campaigns, do presentations, and recreate it over and over, create new offers, new sales pages? And the question is, do you have an onboarding process? Because sometimes we sabotage ourselves. It's like, oh, I'm not quite ready yet with my program, so I got to redo something, or so do you have robust onboarding processes? Because that's also part of an evergreen system. Because that's why the whole work starts. Once you get a client in, you got to service them and make sure that you fulfill on your promises. So have you set that up? Have you got that in place as well? Or do you reinvent yourself over and over again and wasting lots of time, effort, and not seeing the results? Now, I think we talked about this in the beginning. Let's bring it all to the close. What I talked about is a system that brings in leads on autopilot, something that does all the heavy lifting so you can focus on your zone of genius and do the work you love doing. No more exhausting life launches. You can just have a bit more hands-off time. The business is an ecosystem that's standardized, has solid foundations, and a flow of evergreen campaigns, a way to expand and scale without trading more time for money, like things like group programs, digital programs, memberships, and this all on evergreen. And no more reinventing yourselves over and over. And instead, you can work strategically on your business and deliver true results for your clients. And the most important thing is a solid daily flow structure, so that aligns with your value as to how do you want to show up, how do you want to bring in your leads, when are you going to do what, and attract the clients that you want to bring in on a daily basis, so you know exactly what to do. And we know it's all about speed and it's about results. And the question is, and I think this is what Simon Cowell's face looks like when he's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But is it, I came to a point where I knew I can't afford to keep doing what I'm doing right now. I just can't. The pain got so much and my desire to do more was higher. So I needed to change direction and get the right support. And I knew that I could do, say, 10K a month. That's like a couple of clients for me, right? So think about it. If you think every month I could do 10K, 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 or 20K even, but with 10K, after 10 months, you may have missed £100,000, dollars opportunity. That's your opportunity cost if you're not doing anything about it and putting distractions and systems in place. So the question is, if you could install this evergreen ecosystem in your business, where you have firstly your evergreen content and a repurpose system in the front to get in your leads, then you have the evergreen webinar, you can run them live or automated, and then get them into your evergreen program, the one program, that one that you're going to get known for, and just totally simplify your business and know exactly what you're doing on a daily basis. How would that feel if you had a system like this and it's a complete like a completely evergreen ecosystem? You don't have to reinvent over and over. How does that feel? Right? It's easy. You just turn up and do the work that you love doing. And that's what Shenas did. So she's a body, mind, soul coach. She needed to make that leap. She started her evergreen webinars and she then sold 5 spots within a couple of weeks. Okay, so she's taken that leap. She's built the processes and put it all in place. And it's been more simple and more enjoyable for her, she says. And I can repeat this system now, right? So that's what she said there. And of course, I want you to be next. If you think, hey, yeah, this is probably the thing that I needed, not the next shiny object, but something solid that works over and over again. And of course, there are always options, right? You can go option A, which is hard, expensive, slow, lonely. You can go Google it, try to put all the pieces together that I taught you today on your own. Of course, you can do that. Or if you want the support, it's easier, faster, less expensive. We can go at it together. Okay. So there is an opportunity, and I'm not going to sell you anything today. The opportunity is purely to book a blueprint call with me. What we would do on the blueprint call, obviously, I'll answer any questions you might have about today's presentation, but I also would love to have a look at your business as to what you're doing right now, what's working, what's not working, and perhaps give you some ideas how to fix it and give you a plan of action. Whether it's a fit, we work together or not, it doesn't, at this stage, there's no pressure. We can talk about it. You may just walk away with an action plan and know where the gaps are. Again, another example here, I have Heather. She's a cancer physical kind of therapist, and she was always getting the wrong client, because especially in this field, she said, oh, I can't really charge too much. Cancer therapists, they're already going through a hard time. But she was able to step up her prices and then started the evergreen webinar systems. And she said here she's celebrating 5 clients. She made 20K in that month. So my system's called the Evergreen Success Formula, and I have many more testimonials. If you need some more, of course, I can send them to you. Let me know. But really, who is it for? It is for coach, consultant, expert, author with a high ticket value program. Okay, so it's got to be high ticket, at least 1,000, I would say. Info products, courses, live events done for your services and agencies. You've got something of value to share, but you can't perhaps get in front of the right people or enough people. You're passionate about helping your industry and you want to create a huge impact. And you do understand that it takes investment to get you to the next level. Okay, so this is who it's for. Yeah, so you can just book a call. This is the link. Thank you for joining. I think someone just joined now. We're kind of at the end. I will definitely send out the replay as well. So I apologize if the timing was maybe not clear on the invitation. I'm just going to stop sharing now and answer any questions you might have from my presentation today. Yeah, so Owen says to transform lives, time and money, freedom. You can pop in any questions right now. I'm probably just going to spend a couple of minutes. We're at the end anyway if you need to hop off. But for those who are interested to hear a bit more about the Evergreen Success Formula, what it actually is, what we will be going through, I will just talk you through a couple of bits. And then obviously feel free to book a call using the link that I've provided. I love actually hands-on implementation. So this is not it is not a mastermind or watching video kind of thing. I don't believe in that. I used to work in the corporate world and it was all about implementation and true transformation. So that's really important to me. So obviously the goal is to help you create an automated client acquisition system, as we talked about earlier. It's about really saving your time, getting the time back, and whether you want to invest it in your family or back into working with clients and do more work, absolutely, right? It's about creating simplicity and clarity because we are so distracted. We feel overwhelmed. So it's really important to create that simplicity back in our businesses so we feel at ease. So we know every day what we're going to be doing and how to actually create those results and that we fall in love again with our business. Tech is another thing, comes up a lot. I always said I don't believe in complicated tech systems. We'll build one system with you and give you all the templates that you need, all the bits and pieces. If you already have a system, we can look at that. I'm quite tech savvy now. I actually learned a lot about tech, although I hated it in the beginning. But do not worry about the tech at all. There's ongoing support. We have a community as well. I think the great thing is there is also, it's a hybrid, right? It's a group, but it's also, you have me on a one-to-one basis, which is fantastic because I found so many times when I was in other programs, people actually didn't give me feedback on the things I needed feedback on. It was just generic Q&As, and that's not really going to move the needle forward. So you need that hand holding and that look over your shoulder piece, and that's why I've built in one-to-one sessions as well. Mindset is a little bit as well, like, because sometimes you get stuck and you think, oh, you're not good enough. So I actually have a mindset expert that comes in and talks about this. If you want to run paid ads as well, I've got someone as well. So I've got different experts come in to do different pieces. And if you wish to do something amazing, like something different, like starting a podcast, I would bring that expert into the group because I have a huge network and I just love collaborating with other people. And yeah, and so we just help each other out and bring all the bits that people might need and want that I can't actually teach. So it is a proven system. As I said, I have lots and lots of testimonials, and we really work together for 90 days intensively. And if you want to stay after the 90 days, it's just a rolling kind of, I don't want anyone to kind of land on the street and then not have any support. That's important to me as well. So it's kind of like an ongoing monthly, but after 90 days, you can just say, that's it, that's me done. I've got everything I need and that's fine. Templates, lots of done for you stuff in there because again, I don't want anyone to think they have to reinvent the wheel because it's evergreen. We're going to put all the bits in place and help you with, if you want to use AI, obviously I've got lots of chat GTP prompts that will help you create some of the content. Canva templates, if you're not very good with designing graphics, all of those things are there for you. Sales pages, as I said, even for your coaching, I have a whole vault of coaching workbooks, of coaching ideas, kind of coaching, what do you call it, tools as well that people can use in their business. So there's a whole range of tools that you can use as well in your business. So that's all included. That's why it's the best 10 years of being in this field and just pulling all the best pieces together and thinking what was missing when I went through some of these masterminds. What do I need to actually really quickly get this going and not having to spend so much time and energy and frustration putting this stuff together. So that's really what I have packaged all of this stuff up. Now, in terms of the content, we look at foundational pieces. Of course, as always, reviewing the messaging, reviewing in depth who your target audience is and are they the right people and do they have the money? That's a good question. Number two, I'm going to talk about evergreen content pool, how to create content that will be there for you over and over again. So you don't have to think, oh, I want to post today, emails, social media, blah, blah, blah. You're going to all structure it in a way that works for you all the time. Then we've got the audience building and nurture sequences. And of course, the evergreen conversion mechanism, which is pillar number 4, which is your evergreen webinars and how to structure them, how to build them. Oh, I even give you the webinar slides so you can use them. Evergreen enrollment. So now it's like, think about your delivery. And the 6th pillar is evergreen program structure. How do you make sure that people can always enroll? How do you best structure experiences for your clients so that they will actually get the transformation and what toolkits to use? So it's such a comprehensive program. And I'm so super excited because I don't think I've seen anything like this where they also include how do you go about the delivery and support the delivery. And, because my background is all about process and project management, process improvement, continuous improvement. And I see all the different moving elements in a business and what needs to be put in place, how, when, where, so it all works together on an ongoing basis. With that said, take a deep breath. Thank you so, so much for being with me today. And if you have other questions, can you please put in the link to book a call? Absolutely. There it is. Sorry about that. And I will also obviously email you the replay and any other bits that you might have missed. And otherwise, if there's no more questions, I wish you a fantastic rest of the day. Thank you. Love this work. Oh, thank you so much, Tracy. Cecilia, yeah, I love to have the replay. Absolutely. Yeah, no problem at all. Have the replay. There's lots of great stuff in there. Oh, you're from Germany. Oh, I'm from Austria. So, but I live in UK now, so I'm in VST. Great value. Thank you, Jana. Really good. Thank you, Owen. I'm really, really happy that you got some great value out of this. And yeah, just think about Evergreen. I'm so passionate about like, why are we spending so much time and energy and doing things over and over again, whilst we could make our life so much easier and just putting those key cornerstones into our business so it runs over and over again. And we could just do the stuff that we love doing, right? That's the whole thing. Ah, you're Austrian as well, Owen. Oh my God, that's so cool. Where are you from in Austria? I'm from near Switzerland, like the Lake of Constance. And I'm going to go back actually in October. I'm going to do a trip, a bit of hiking, and then I'm always back for skiing in winter. So thank you. If you have to hop off, you're very welcome. You're American. It's been great. You're from Vienna. Okay, cool. Beautiful, beautiful. Definitely want to go and visit Vienna again soon as well. Beautiful. Okay. Much love. Have a great rest of the day. And maybe I'll see you around. Bye.